Hello world. Hello tech community. Festive greetings from Switzerland. During this festive session, I like to talk about being a digital nomad for 1 year and the wins and fails during that time. That said, this is not a technical session. Instead, I will focus on experiences I made as a digital nomad for my very first time. My name is Yannic Graber and I'm located in central Switzerland, the lovely town of Lucerne. My expertise is on the Microsoft Cloud in general, but as an honored Azure MVP by Microsoft, my main topic is Azure, of course. I'm a founder of Joker IT, where I work as a cloud solution expert. As a Microsoft certified trainer, blogger, and speaker, I love to learn, to teach, and to exchange and discuss knowledge and opinions with the community. Anyway, let's get started. Initially, together with my partner, I planned to take a year off, travel the world, and work part-time as a digital nomad. Already before we started our trip, it was clear it's not going to be as easy as planned. Nevertheless, we started our trip and left our home in Switzerland with our self-built camper van. Traveling by an old van brings some uncertainties with it, which brings me to my first fail. It has been in Latvia on our way to leave the Baltic States when our van overheated. Of course, I didn't have a SIM card to call for help, so we had to rely on cars passing by and getting towed away to the next town. As it was weekend, it was hard to get the car fixed quickly, so we were forced to stay in a quite random city where locals were asking us even what we are doing here. Not planned, but after organizing everything for the car, visiting the town and the museum, I was ready to do some work and created a how-to video, a blog post, and did a few company internal things. Finally, when our van was fixed a few days later, we continued our travel. So my tip as a digital nomad here is make sure you have some non-time critical work ready you can do if you get trapped like me. As a digital nomad, internet is crucial, especially if you're traveling by car and do camping. That might be a challenge, and it has been. In some countries, it's easy to get a SIM card as a foreigner, but reception on remote camping sites or just out in the nature is another story. In other countries, it's even way more effort to get a working SIM as a foreigner in the first place. But did you ever buy a SIM including 56 gigabytes of data for an equivalent of less than $7 US? I did so in beautiful Transylvania in Romania. With great reception all over the places, I was ready for some mobile work. But it was also in Romania where our old van had some issues for the second time. But this time equipped with a working SIM, it was just easy to manage. Anyway, in Romania I really learned how amazing it is to work from everywhere I am, so I did not have to care too much about midterm travel plans, always knowing that I'm gonna be able to work from everywhere. If you haven't been in Romania, make sure to do so, it's beautiful. Having the van broken down 2 times already, now my laptop unexpectedly broke down and did not boot anymore due to a hardware issue. Probably caused by some pressure it suffered in my backpack among all my belongings. Good to know my data was all safe in the cloud. This happened during the pre-Christmas time in Bulgaria. So the problem I was facing was that Bulgarians use the Cyrillic alphabet, which I do not. Finding a replacement laptop with a Swiss keyboard was impossible, of course, so I was looking in the store for one with a US keyboard instead. Luckily, I haven't found a device I wanted to buy straight away, because after 2 days, my laptop randomly started to work again. Still don't know what the issue exactly was, but I'm not complaining. That said, my laptop didn't have a problem for a second time and is still running. But if you're a digital nomad, make sure you do have a rough plan for hardware problems and replacements. What I did love about being a digital nomad was that every other day your office might look different. Sometimes it's outside in the sun, sometimes in an old-fashioned child room, and sometimes even on a sailing boat where we got invited to stay for a few days. After 5 months of being on the road and living in the van, we sold the van and left Europe, which brings me straight to another story. Our next destination was to start with a bomb. My checked luggage arrived 3 days later, due to which I left my headset somewhere at the airport out of my own frustration. Of course, when I went back to have a look for it, it was already gone. Traveling through Mexico, as different and diverse as it can be. During the Christmas season, there were many different decorations, some a little more Christmassy than others. But back to the lost headset. Now that I was no longer equipped and I didn't include a new headset in the travel budget, I had to get creative. Cognitive services with text-to-speech functionality saved me so I could continue to produce content with comfortable sound quality and without annoying background noise. And it was also fun to play around with Azure's voices and try them out. By the way, since recently Azure also speaks Swiss German. How exciting, and something the whole world has been waiting for, I guess.
Grüezi wohl und liebe Grüß an alle, wo das verstöhnt.
Still in Mexico, my partner had planned a few online interviews. Depending on where you are, that's not so easy. So we went to the next more touristy place and checked the hotels for a reliable internet connection. In fact, this turned out to be more difficult than expected. But as luck would have it, after half a day, we randomly met the manager and the owners of a hotel that was just about to open for the very first time. My partner was not only allowed to use the excellent internet, but also to be the very first guest of the hotel ever. We had this stunning place, the Hotel Blue Palm in Bacalar, all to ourselves, together with the owner couple. So it happened that I enjoyed the pool and the beautiful blue lagoon with them, while my partner could do the interviews. Have you ever had a meeting during a hike? Welcome to the Andes, welcome to Ecuador, where I was added to an unplanned internal ad hoc Teams meeting on my phone. A meeting with a view, that's for sure. But did it work? Of course it didn't. Say what? Again? Can't hear you. Your connection is miserable. After successfully frustrating all participants with my internet quality, I left the meeting after about 15 minutes, despite the friendly assistance of a donkey. But luckily, my colleagues recorded the meeting with Microsoft Teams, so I could listen to the recording in the evening after the hike with better internet and give my feedback after all. By the way, once you're in Ecuador, make sure to visit the Amazon and the Galapagos Islands. For animal lovers out there, it's a miracle. But hey, don't expect to work there and just enjoy. Big time zone differences is another difficulty when you work for a company on another continent and you don't have a local team to communicate with. Friends we made in Ecuador took us with them on their road trip in the US, where I had to experience the time zone problems many times. But of course, it was totally worth it. Best greetings to my fellow friends from the US. If you're seeing this, thank you so much for taking us with you. Back to the time zone issue. As an example, when we were in Las Vegas, I had a strategy meeting. Because it was the middle of the night for us, I couldn't have the meeting in our room to keep my partner from sleeping. So the meeting had to take place in a hotel lobby, and my meeting colleagues enjoyed the people passing by in the background waving to the camera, of which some probably had a rough night behind them. Back on the road, I enjoyed the beautiful national parks of the United States and sometimes turned night into day for work. Being on a campsite, this actually means I occasionally worked in our teardrop trailer or tent while others slept. Like, for example, at Yellowstone National Park on a campground where I had an arrangement with a coworker 2 nights in a row. Fortunately, I was able to catch up on sleep during long car rides the day after. After 1 year, my time as a digital nomad sadly came to an end. Even though we didn't visit a single country of our originally planned trip, my 1 year experience as a part-time digital nomad was insane. These were just a few snippets from my journey. Things go wrong, and a lot of things don't turn out as expected. But all the people I got to meet, the freedom I experienced, and the beautiful places I got to visit leave me speechless and have left a huge mark on me. So here's my advice. If you ever have the opportunity to travel as a digital nomad, and who knows, possibly even just work part-time, do not hesitate and go for it. I hope I was able to inspire at least some of you. And if you are interested in more information or want to share your experiences with me, please get in touch. Thank you for watching this far. Catch up with you somewhere on this beautiful planet of ours. Stay discovering and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye bye.